In today's episode, we'll install camber plates on my favorite shitbox, install some new track rods because my alignment is completely out of whack, and with that making up 10% of your fuel economy if it's bad. Well, with the current fuel prices, I don't want to pay that extra. And to cancel out the wheel alignment's fuel savings, we will switch to 265 tires. And with that whack intro out of the way, we can demote my old summer wheels to winter wheels. These will get winter tires, and then these are my winter wheels, because I don't want to ride around on steelies. The only reason why I'm switching these out is because they don't have a deep dish on the front. On the rear, that's deep enough. But yeah, the ET on this wheel is just way off, doesn't match. Especially when we compare to the new front wheels, which are deep dish at the front as well. But the rear wheels are definitely a highlight. They are similar spec than the old wheels, but they look way better. I forgot to mention, I also resprayed them because yeah, they were candy red before and that was just really ugly. Couldn't have that, so I resprayed them on the floor. Just a quick paint job with cheap rattle cans. Turned out rather good, I think. Gonna have to remove the track rod first. Yeah, these are still in great condition. I'm just replacing them to be sure that they still last, because I need this car as a daily over the next year, like every day 100 kilometers, so I don't want these to fail like the old ones did. Well, the old control arms I already changed these, they are still nice and tight. So yeah, on to the next bolt, all the way on the inside. I think I'll just remove the whole strut as of right now, because I can't get access to the ball joint with the ball joint popper, with this whole thing in the way. What kind of retard torqued these, man? Must have been me. Oh, Christ. Yeah, I think last time I just did this with the Uga Duga because I was feeling lazy. Won't be doing that again. That was, yeah, bad decision. These are super tight. If I got a lift someday, I can do better close-ups, but yeah. Kinda hard to get the camera under the car when there's no space for me. The camber plates I bought, well, they were quite cheap, 95 bucks shipped. Compared to other camber plates, that's quite a steal. They are not adjustable, but the brand I bought them from, they offer material certificates for every purchase. That means even in countries like Germany, you can have them written into the papers without a major hassle. So yeah, they also come with special hardware. Since these are off-centered camber plates, they push the strut towards the inside, and you have special bolts that allow you to have it sitting flush, and then you can sandwich it. We do have to punch out the old studs. I just found two small issues with their product. First of all, the supplied bolts are too long. They hit the hump right there if you use this top part, so you can't turn. I'm gonna have to shorten these. And when you use the plates, I have it already aligned, so I can make sure I choose the right holes, because you can go either towards the inside or towards the outside, so negative or positive camber. But yeah, these bolts have an imbus imprint on the top, so you can counter hold them. But if you have the strut in the car, the top part, you cannot access it of the bolt, and same with the bottom part. So I'm going to have to attach these to the strut and tighten them outside of the car. And the three right here, I'll mark them, and then I'm gonna have to do two spot welds and grind them down to hold it into place. I've put some nuts on the other end and tightened them all the way. That way the studs actually stay centered. Yeah, I tried it like that on the car. It fits. I'm gonna have to persuade it a bit, but it fits like this. After a bit of welding, we now have the bolts attached to the part, so we have studs to the top, and then at the bottom, because I can now slap that on, before installing it, I had to shorten bolts. Even after cutting the thread section in half, you still can't use them, because the nuts they provide are locking nuts, and they are higher than standard M8 nuts. So even with shortened bolts, you can't use their nuts, because otherwise you're gonna hit the hump. I have normal M8 nuts on which I'll use thread locker, so we have the same function, but they are less high, and then you can use it. I think this product is only for the higher top parts, but yeah, who installs camber plates? People that want their car lower and have a different stance, or people that focus on track. So yeah, the customer will almost always have these style top parts and not the other ones. But yeah, whatever. I'll send them an email. I like their product because it's cheaper, in my opinion better than concurrents, but needs adaptation. And here at the top, as you can see, the dome mount went to the inside, so we have more negative camber. And now the new wheels, which dare I say, look fabulous. And now we just have to swap the rear tires on the car. Okay, that just looks seriously good. The color is not exactly what I was hoping for, but it still looks good nonetheless, don't you think? It's currently a day later. I'm unfortunately filming on my phone, and I've already had the alignment done on the E34, and it drives fabulously, way better. Unfortunately now with a bit more camber, bigger wheels, wider tires, we do have a bit of bump steer. That's not the greatest experience, let me tell you that much, but next season we'll go lower and then we'll install bump steer correction plates. That way we have a nice riding E34 that's low but comfy. That's all I want. It has to be low because it needs to look nice, but it shouldn't lose its original driving characteristic, which for an E34 is just comfy. But keeping the car on the road isn't always just about slapping on some fat wheels. We also have to do the yearly or 10,000 kilometer interval oil change. I will also not drain the oil from the pan, but because I'm lazy, I am using the oil extraction pump to pump it from the oil dipstick. Yeah, since I do so many oil changes, it doesn't really matter if there's like 50 milliliters of oil left in there anyways. And once the pump has started running dry, we know that all the older oil is out, and now we can top it off with some fresh juice. I'm going to a 10W40 for the summer instead of 5W40 in the winter. We removed like 6.5 liters from the oil dipstick. This engine takes slightly more, but we also have the oil cooler that we have to keep in mind, so we don't always get everything out. I'm adding 1 more liter because the dipstick showed minimum, so with 1 liter more we should be at maximum. And that's the oil change done. Let me know down below if you actually like this setup. I know there's a few people that wanted me to stay with a purist's approach and stay with stock wheels. Well, I could have gone to styling 5s. They look great, but I kind of like the look of more tuning wheels, really wide and a bit lower. Well, really low. But that's for another time. All the budget for this car this season is already spent, So the only thing I'm going to do is maintenance. And now we'll go from the E34 to the E39 as our next video, because it's time we're gonna start on that. It was supposed to be a quick flip project for like 1-2 weeks. It's been standing there for a month almost. So yeah, kind of lost track. And we do have to sell that ASAP. Need space for something different.